Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. I was gonna go get something for lunch, but I don't feel like driving nowhere. So come back and continue what I was talking about. Um, I was on this post, I was on Instagram yesterday. I think it was the Uninterrupted channel or the Uninterrupted Instagram page, which I believe is an extension of LeBron James and Maverick Carter. I think that's their platform for Instagram. But they had a post about Brittany Griner of the WNBA, and the post says something, be at the bottom of the whole situation with her being detained in Russia. And I haven't even heard any updates on that in the last few weeks, to be honest with you. But the Instagram post was saying that the real issue here, the greater issue here, is the disparity in the pay between male athletes and female athletes, and the NBA and the WNBA, and that basically, in short, Brittany is over in Russia playing during the off season to subsidize her income because she doesn't make enough as a WNBA player. Okay. And I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded why Uninterrupted is trying to make this point when, if they went to LeBron and said, hey, we gonna take 15%, 20% from your 40-something million dollars a year, and we're gonna shift it over here to pay the women more money, he'd have a problem, right? So I get down in the comments, and it's a few women that weigh in and want to say that you're basically a sexist because you don't watch the WNBA, or something is foul about you because you don't watch the WNBA. And I'm just like, seriously? I mean, call me whatever you want to call me then. But the WNBA, they've done a number of things over the years to make the WNBA appealing. You got the women playing on All-Star Weekend for the NBA. They have the women, some of their better players or their stars, they have them playing in the celebrity game. They had the men and women doing the skills challenge thing or something. I don't know if they still do it because I don't watch All-Star Weekend. But they've done a number of things to try to cross-promote the WNBA game. The WNBA. And I tried to watch it this year. I tried to watch a couple of games because my man Damian Adams was doing interviews for the Phoenix team. And so I was like, if Damian is rocking with the WNBA, let me try to give him a chance. That brother is a basketball fiend or junkie or whatever. So I'm like, let me see if I'm missing something. I'm sorry, man. If I'm sitting here trying to watch this point guard without cracking on her body and her physical appearance. She just moved like this is supposed to be one of the best guards in the league, but she moved like an old woman. And she was kind of built like an old woman. She wasn't overweight, I don't think, but she just didn't look great. Now, James Harden doesn't have a great body. I don't really like to watch James Harden. Did I say Garden? James Harden. I really don't care to watch his game. And it's almost like we can see James Harden really slowing down right in front of us because he's just, the guard position is that athletic in the NBA, and he's kind of, he's just kind of falling behind in that area. But I'm trying to watch this lady play guard. There's nothing explosive about her. No step back jumper, no step back three. She's trying to do spin moves and different things. It's at a totally different or slower speed than the male counterparts. We are. I said on the post for the uninterrupted on Instagram, we just saw that dunk from Ja Morant the other night in that game against Memphis against who the hell is Memphis playing? Minnesota. And the next day, the whole discussion is that one of the greatest playoff dunks in the history of the NBA. We're not going to see anything remotely close to what Ja Morant did in throwing that dunk down. So why would I sit here and watch something that's just, it's nothing captivating about it? And I'll be honest, going back in the day, when Shamika Holdsclaw didn't turn out to be anything in the WNBA, I don't know, I can't really recall. I don't know if she had mental health issues way back when, or her body broke down, I don't know what it was. But I was looking forward to what Holdsclaw might do in the NBA, in the WNBA, and she never did nothing. And it's been other stars, Jackie, the little guard who kind of reset or broke the career scoring for college basketball. I can't remember her last name, but she was a little guard from like Montana or Montana State. We seen Candace Parker come into the league and do her thing. Skylar Diggins was someone that I was checking out. I tried to watch Taurasi Subur. I've tried Becky Hammond. I've tried to watch I'm familiar with Teresa Witherspoon, Cheryl Swoops, Leslie, all the OGs. The game has just never really captivated me. And so I don't know how we can sit here and argue that the women need to be paid X amount of money when you clearly just don't bring in the type of money that the men do. And I think these arguments are pretty bogus. And to get out here and call people, names and whatnot. Look, it's a reason why people don't build Hummers. It's a reason why nobody is selling Hummers right now. All these electric vehicles coming out, you be a damn fool to go try and produce a bunch, 10,000 Humvees and try to sell them to people, because that shit ain't popping no more. But it's over here when it comes to sports. It's just this, if we build it, people will come mentality, and that's just not the case. I'm looking at the USFL game Saturday I think it was Saturday. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. The stadium is empty. And I'm like, damn, is COVID, is the pandemic back on? Like, why are there no fans in the stadium? It's got to be pretty rough to even be trying to start up a new business right now, a new sport right now. Because we're still working our way out of the pandemic. But the whole damn stadium was empty. I watched it for like 10 minutes. None of the players were jumping off the screen for me. The quarterback was so-so. The wide receivers were so-so. The uniforms, I just couldn't get into it. I didn't watch anymore. I left. Am I sexist or reverse sexist or whatever because I didn't like the USFL game? No, it's an inferior product. Will I try to watch it this week? If they put on another two teams, will I try to give it another shot? Maybe, if I don't have anything going on. But I've tried to watch. Like I said, I've tried to give the WNBA a chance. It's just not for me. My wife turned, and so anyway, going back to the uninterrupted post, this girl comes on and comments. She's calling everybody sexist, and you need to check yourself. You need to do something about being comfortable with your sexist ways and your sexist viewpoints. Some other stuff. And then she pointed to she made all of these mentions of like women's tennis, the women's soccer team, the national women's soccer team. She might have brought up like Simone Biles or some other women here and there who've been successful. And I'm like, well, let me be the asshole. Let me say something that's not popular, but it's the truth. Yes, us knuckle dragging, mouth breathing, cavemen mentality men. We have beach volleyball. She pointed to beach volleyball, that people watch it. I'm like, do you not understand the difference between the things that you're talking about and the WNBA? Do you not understand the clear difference in why men would watch beach volleyball and not watch the WNBA? Do I have to say it? I mean, even in tennis, throughout the years, there have been some women in tennis who were attractive, or had nice bodies or nice legs or whatever. It's just the truth. There really has been nobody in the WNBA to really make men sit up and want to, so-and-so is, like I said, Skylar Diggins, attractive lady. I thought maybe she could change some things. I really haven't seen Skylar Diggins since she came into the league. But I was just looking at this female's point on Instagram, like, this comment really doesn't help your argument. It really doesn't help your case, and that we can get into the WNBA. Point blank, basketball just might not be a sport where it's gonna work for women. You can't play up under the rim. I know the one girl from Iowa, I think it's Iowa, was shooting from the logo, like the women's version of a logo three-pointer. I think she was doing that this year. I can't remember her name. But the excitement just isn't there. The block shots, the dunks, the alley-oops, the explosive plays, it just doesn't happen for many other women. I'm not sexist. This just isn't a sport now. I was trying to tell this person, I've gotten into the women's national team in soccer because it was the Olympics or it was the World Cup. And that's you're watching the whole event. And I'm watching the team from Italy and the teams from Spain and the teams from Brazil and Venezuela, Colombia, and all of that stuff. I watch it. I'm just saying, in most years, the WNBA game has not been that compelling for me to tune in. Women's softball. I've watched the national team softball, the national softball team. That's a difference because men obviously don't play softball at a professional or on the world stage. Like I said, there's been attractive tennis players before. That's helped with the marketability and the appeal of tennis. Excuse me. We all know a lot of us were watching Serena for the aesthetics. But it's also some women that play the hell out of tennis. I mean, and to be honest, I haven't really watched a lot of men's tennis regularly because the dudes that were so dominant, they just killed all the big three with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. It really hasn't even been competitive the last 10 years. So I was watching the women's game. But anyway, kind of moving on. I could sit here and argue that the WNBA just isn't going to work. On the same token, I've been saying this since we got into 2022. I'm really not all that optimistic about the future of boxing. And, I would love for boxing to be recognized on a higher level and to increase in its popularity, and for there to be great opportunities for the fighters, and so on and so forth. I would love for all of that. But now, what I was talking about in January and February, we're now kind of at that month where we're getting through a few of the bigger fights that were on the calendar. And now we're at the fight that we've all been waiting for 3.5 or 4 years already with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And it's kind of coming to fruition that fight may not be able to be made because the sport is not big enough. It's not popular in the United States to get it done. It really doesn't look like I mean, we might have maybe another month or so, to get something negotiated. Or is Terrence Crawford gonna fight somebody before him and Errol Spence would try to fight later on in the fall or winter? I don't know how they're gonna do it, but when it comes to making a fight for Canelo Alvarez, it doesn't take this long. The heavyweight fights that were out there with Fury and Wilder, it really didn't do what it was supposed, or what it was projected to do, or what they would have desired for it to do commercially. That may not have happened, but it worked. But here with these two guys, just trying to handle guarantees for each fighter of maybe around 10 million, $8 to $10 million per guy. They don't even, it really doesn't, we really haven't seen anything to suggest that that's going to be something that they can get this thing done. Looking at the fight last week or 2 weeks ago with Errol Spence Jr. against Yordenis Ugas, I don't even know what the pay-per-view number situation was. I really wasn't that concerned with it, but I saw 240,000, 250,000. Was it 300,000? Was it 100? I don't know. But what I do know is that they haven't seen the type of numbers that they need where there's a real impetus to get the fight done. And same thing with the WNBA. Like, if people don't buy pay-per-views, then it's going to be very hard to have the expectation that these big fights, or the bigger fights that are out there, that they get done. The best that we may be able to do might be whatever ESPN is doing or trying to do. I was thinking the other day, like, I really haven't even seen a card on Fox lately. I'm not all on top of Fox Boxing and whatnot at the moment, or PBC on Fox Boxing, but I'm like, damn, I don't think they've had a card in several weeks at this point. We know the Showtime schedule came out maybe a month ago. I just kind of didn't really keep up on whether or not Fox was going to announce anything, or PBC on Fox was going to announce anything. But yeah, we sit here and we want it to be one way, and we're all anticipating that this fight gets done, but I don't know how they get it done. I really don't know how they get it done. I don't know how you sit here and tell two guys to accept, hey, we'll take 4 or 5 million and we'll figure out the rest of it. Like, nah, dudes want their guarantee. They want everything in black and white, and you know what you're getting when you climb in the ring. I don't know how much risk we can really expect these two guys to take just to sit here and entertain us and deliver this fight that we all want. And then, like I said, we say we all want it, but then when they put the pay-per-view